You are not in the group. બસ તો કાકીમાં તને આવ્યું જશે. રીનાબેન આપણું શરૂ થઈ ગયું છે. हाँ, you can come this side if this is blocking you. Huh? No, if it is blocking you, you can come. हाँ हाँ. Yeah. And? Okay.
स्वागत करें और इंग्लिश करो तो स्वागत आई तो तुम्हें चलो करो
परेश में मैंने एक कॉपी आपकी
बेटा आप दे आता हूँ लिंक आती है आप दोनों
आओ
नहीं अब दोनों पत्नी वाली क्या से उसके स्वागत करने के लिए आपका नाम क्या है हाँ प्रिया
हाँ रीना
अभी हो गए
अभी ओके
या उसी दिन चल इसमें से गुरु जी को आ जाओ पहले गुरु जी को टीका लगाइए कुमकुम से लेफ्ट हैंड में रखिए करके टीका लगाइए. नमो गुरुभ्यो गुरुपादुकाभ्यो नमः परेभ्य परपादुकाभ्यो आचार्य सिद्धे स्वरपादुकाभ्यो नमोस्तु लक्ष्मी पतिपादुकाभ्यो. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. तस्मै श्री गुरुवे प्रभुनाथ प्यारा भक्तों, खरीकर हम सब लोग भाग्यशाली हैं कि ऐसे उनके अमृतवाणी सुनने मिलते हैं. हम आपको प्रार्थना करते हैं कि आप अपने अमृतवाणी को सुनाइए. बाद में पूजा करेंगे. ठीक है. अगर बेटा ये जरा क्राउड हो जाए ना तो आप वहाँ से चेयर ले लेना. शो का मतलब बता दें जब बहुत लोग हो जाए और ये चेयर को आगे रखो तो आशीर्वाद.
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय मूर्तये नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। So let us chant the few verses that we have done from beginning. Amanitvamadambitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham स्थैर्यमात्म विनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा दुःखै मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु. So these many values we have already seen. As we have been telling you again and again, these are the values which make the mind very, very contemplative, receptive and sensitive. In short, it prepares the mind for knowledge. Without these values, there is no way but abidance. Abidance in the knowledge is not possible. So, it is imperative that our mind is furnished with these values. We have seen all the values beginning from verse 7 to verse 9. So I think 15 values we have already covered. Today we will begin from verse number 10. So let me chant that verse. You please repeat. Mayi chananya yogena bhaktiravyavicharini vivikta desha sevitvam aratirjana samsade. So see, the last value which we saw yesterday was nityam cha samachittatvam. Ishta, Anishta, Upapattishu. The last one was that, which meant that when life presents before you pleasant as well as unpleasant situations, then you maintain the sameness of the mind. This is a value. Otherwise, it is quite possible that when pleasant situations are there, we are very happy, in fact elated. And when life confronts us with unpleasant situations, difficult situations, then we cannot handle them. We just do not know how to proceed with life. People sometimes just stagnate over there. Now, if this is the state of mind, one cannot proceed even in day-to-day life, not to talk of the Atma-Jnanam. But when can one maintain the Samachittatva of the mind? Here we have to understand that when a person or a bhakta or a mumukshu enjoys a devotion for Ishvara, when that understanding of Ishvara is there, when a Vishwasa, faith is there, that whatever Ishvara is doing is good for me. When that kind of understanding or maturity is there, then only one can handle pleasant as well as unpleasant situations as with the attitude of prasada buddhi. Prasada buddhi means gracefully you accept. Just as in the temple or anywhere, when you get prasada from Ishvara, when you offer something at the feet of Ishvara, and then when it is given back to you, our attitude towards that is what? Is prasada. It has come from him. And so the very thing, whatever it is, it may be something, it may be laddu, or it may be that whipped rice, whatever, or it may be even bhasma, it may be an ash also. But still, our attitude towards that is that it has come from Ishvara. And whatever comes from Ishvara is pious. It is something which is for my good, and I am actually blessed by that. This is our attitude. So Samachittatvam is also possible only and only when we have some understanding of Ishvara as Karma Phala Data. Karma Phala Data means he is the ordainer of the results of action. Whatever is happening in my life, he knows very well. In fact, he sends the result. In keeping with my karma, in keeping with my actions, he is dispensing the result. But I have that Vishwasa that whatever is coming is ultimately for my good. Ishvara knows what is best for me at this juncture of my life. What is it that I need the most? Maybe what has come appears unpleasant to me, but maybe that is required. Who knows? For my development, for my inner strength, for my maturity, maybe that is needed. And so, if I do not react, when this attitude is there, then I won't react. And when I don't react, I learn from it. When we begin to react and reject, that learning is not possible. Why? Because we fight with the situation. Situation wants to appear, and it has already appeared, and I am not there to accept it. Even though it has fallen upon me, I am not ready to accept gracefully. The loss is mine. As it is, I cannot do anything about that situation. Certain situations, why certain? Most of the situations are beyond my control. And so, I am not going to be able to change it. What has happened has happened. It cannot be undone. So, I accept it gracefully. Okay, that is his wish. Maybe there is some hidden message for me, which I will learn only when I first accept it. So what I am trying to say is that last value, Nityam cha samachittatvam, which we discussed yesterday, also calls for devotion for Ishvara, also calls for acceptance of Ishvara as the dispenser of the results, as karma phala data. When that understanding is there, then samachittatvam is possible. Now, to go to this new value, Maicha ananya yogena bhaktihi avyabhicharini. Here Lord Krishna says, Mai means Maicha ananya yogena bhaktihi avyabhicharini. This is the value, big value, which means Mai means in me. In me means what? Ishvara. Bhashyakara writes here, Mai means Ishvare. In Ishvara, what kind of devotion? Avyabhicharini bhakti, which means non-swerving and steadfast devotion for Ishvara. This is a very, very important value. See, bhakti, devotion without devotion for Ishvara, even in the path of knowledge, we cannot proceed. Because we must first to get to get that eligibility for knowledge and for that mind. If we command that mind, fine. If we are already interested in knowledge and there are no obstacles, then fine. But that is not what we generally see. There are many obstacles in the mind, mainly in the form of likes and dislikes for people, for situation, for the world. There is lot of attachment. There are lot of problems in the mind, like anger, like greed, like passion, kamaha, krodhaha, lobhaha. So many such impulses take hold of our mind. Even when we do not want, they refuse to leave. We don't seem to have control over them. It is not that like switching off the button and switching on. I cannot say, please go away. I cannot just switch off the button and passion will go and anger will go. No. So understand, we require grace of Ishvara. We require his blessings. Understanding of Ishvara is very, very important. And for that, devotion is required. Maicha ananya yogena. Here Bhagavan says, for me, what kind of devotion does this bhakta have? Ananya aprutak samadhina. For this bhakta, there is none other. In his life, what plays the prominent role is Ishvara. See, either this seeker knows that there is nothing but Ishvara. Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. Everything is Ishvara. Mattav parataram nanyat kinchid asti Dhananjaya. As Lord Krishna says in 7th chapter, Mattav parataram nanyat kinchid asti. Mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. Lord Krishna says, there is nothing in this creation which is beyond me, which means nothing other than me. Everything is woven into me. Everything, the entire creation is woven into me, which means I am there. Only Ishvara is. The diversity of names and forms which we see is actually nothing but one Ishvara. One Ishvara in the form of multiple names and forms. So either the seeker knows this very well and he is able to see Ishvara in this manner. But this is easily said than done. This is not that easy. Ishvara is everywhere. Upanishads say this. But it has not become a reality for me. So Bhaktas, Bhagwan himself says, he says that bhakti for me, devotion for me will become a means for knowledge. Bhakti is such a thing which can transform you totally. Today we have asakti. Today we have attachment for the world. This attachment sometimes just doesn't go with all our viveka, with all our discernment, that nitya, anitya, viveka, etc. It just doesn't go. Why? Because even though intellectually I know, I carry out the analysis that all this is anitya, all this is temporary, but still I am attached to that which is temporary. I know all this is ephemeral, bound by time, space and all kinds of limitations. I know this in theory, but it has not become reality for me. My mind still derives some kind of happiness from there. It has not known better happiness. See, understand, we can get out of something. We can outgrow something. This is very important. We have to understand this very well. We can outgrow something. An inferior kind of rasa, an inferior taste can be given up only when higher taste is experienced. Unless we experience something higher, something better, something more interesting, how am I going to give up whatever I have now? When the child is playing with a toy and he is all interested in that, if you want him to give up that, you have to give him a better toy. Then only he will throw that and catch the toy which you are offering. But you keep on saying, give up that, but you have nothing else to offer. Then what? He cannot, because he has no idea of what is best. Similarly, today Brahman is not tangible for me. Even though we say, Aham Brahmasmi, but we are so much identified with Nama and Rupa, with name and form. I am so identified with this, of that which is formless, that which is beyond mind. I am used to name and form. I am used to something that is tangible. Now, how to make the mind understand something which is beyond name and form, even though it is myself. But today, I means this body, this personality. And so long as I think I am bound by this personality, when my I is placed in this body, mind, intellect, which means when I have an intense sense of individuality, I will look upon the world also in the same manner. First, I have to give up identification with this, then only I can come to know and appreciate you also, not as a personality, but the Atma which is coming out from there, Atma which is manifesting there. Unless I give up identification with this, how am I going to ever understand that you are also not name and form but consciousness? You understand what I am saying? Therefore, Lord Krishna himself says in 12th chapter, Klesho dikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavad bihi avapyate. Dehavad bihi. By the one who is bound by deha, one who looks upon himself as this body, mind, intellect, as this name and form, for that person, avyakta gati, for that person to understand Brahman, which is name without form and name and shape and qualifications, is it is very difficult. It comes with lot of pain, because here asakti for this one is not going, and you want to know Brahman. How is it? It means mere talk, mere words, nothing but words. So, Bhagavan says, better than them are those who have taken refuge unto me. Those for whom, because Ishvara, we are used to name and form, understand? So today, I need the support of a name and form. I need that support. I need that refuge and shelter in life. We need to hold on to something. Brahman is beyond my reach. What is within my reach today? Ishvara, whom I can see, although in an image. And that is why Madhusudanji Maharaj, has written beautifully while writing the definition of bhakti. He says, Mahatmya Jnana Purvastu. We should know something about Ishvara, who he is. Say for instance, Lord Krishna. How will bhakti develop unless and until I know something about him? You just cannot love a person without knowing anything. When you live together, see, when two persons are married, and if it is an arranged marriage, parents have arranged this. From the day when you just don't know him or her, you live together, find out about each other, try to adjust to each other, then in course of time, you begin to like. Today, we also need to know about Ishvara, who he is. What has he been doing in my life? And for that it is for this reason that Vedavyasji was asked to write Srimad Bhagavatam by Naradji. Naradji said that you have done everything, but you have still not sung the glories of Ishvara. And it is bhakti which will give you fulfillment. And then Vedavyasji wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, and in that he writes about all the avatars, all the incarnations of Lord Krishna, of Lord Vishnu, written in such a manner that if you read it means when there is somebody to teach, somebody to unfold that whole thing to you, and if you are sincere, then bhakti will develop. You have to know. And when you see greatness, then your head will bow down. When you see magnanimity, when you see beauty, when you see greatness, when all good qualities, when we see them in someone, tell me, can we help loving them? Can we help respecting them? Say for instance Mahatma Gandhi ji, just I am giving an example. When you read about him, when you read about the way he conducted his life, the way he was wedded to truth, non-violence and simplicity and all that, the way he gave us independence, all this, just an example I am giving you. There will be nothing but respect for him. Similarly, when we learn about Ishvara, what all he has done, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati, abhyuttanam adharmasya, tadatmanam, etc. When we know, when we read, it is for this reason again that Valmiki ji wrote about Rama. Tulsidas ji also did that. Why? So that we are given a role model. Role models are given, perfect in every way. What is Lord Rama? He is nothing but epitome of dharma, picture for dharma. When we see his character, and then if there is somebody a bhakta to teach us about it, then a love will develop. And once that happens, then the attachment, the interest and fascination which I have today for the world will go. Because now you have seen something higher. Now you are seeing something great. Ishvara is raso vai saha. He is nothing but rasa. The real rasa is there. There is no other source of happiness. There is no other source of rasa other than Ishvara. So we must learn about him, read about him. To think that I will gain knowledge, I will find myself to be Brahman. If you can, very good. But here Lord Krishna himself says, he states, this kind of bhakti, unswerving devotion for me, for Ishvara, is a value for the mind, which means when mind is devoted to Ishvara. See, understand in life, first step is we need to know Ishvara as everything. As everything, and then as I. I am Ishvara, I am Brahman doesn't come that easily. Kathopanishad says, Astityevopa labdavyaha. First you have to know that he means in the creation. I would say that even before you can see Ishvara in the creation, it is necessary that you have a personal relationship with Ishvara. In your own puja room, in your own life, everybody must have a personal Ishvara. And there are so many Ishvaras for us, so many such devatas are there in our tradition. If you have samskaras for Shiva, then that Krishna, then that so many are there. Wherever your heart goes, develop a relationship with him. Develop a relationship, understand. That personal relationship with Ishta Devata. That is why there is this concept of Ishta Devata. And that love will not happen in a day or two. It may not happen in a lifetime. But work for it. Serve him. Please him. Seva. Who will not be pleased by seva? Tell me. Everybody likes that. Means Ishvara is not after your seva. But while doing that seva, for local people also, when we do seva, they are pleased and they shower their blessings. Then what to talk of Ishvara? He is not deaf and dumb and blind. He is not. Moment you call him, he hears. And in whichever language, he knows all the languages, Spanish or French or English, everything he knows. Otherwise, what will happen if he knew only Sanskrit? He knows everything. Don't worry. Call him. Valmiki called him. He could not even pronounce his word correctly. Instead of saying Rama, he didn't know anything. Raw, totally raw he was. He was a robber. And Naradji came and told him, is this going to help you? He says, I am doing it for my family. Go and ask them. Are they with you in your papa? They were very clear. No, it is your duty to bring for us. Our livelihood is in your hands. It is your duty. So, we are not with you in your papa. How you bring it is of no concern to us. His eyes were opened. Tube light occurred, came back. And he said, please, now you are my savior. I have done countless papas. I have killed people left and right. What will happen to me? Then Naradji said, take name of Rama. Simple name, Rama. He says, I don't know who Rama is. Don't worry. And he took. Poor thing, poor fellow, could not even pronounce it properly. And what did he speak? Mara. Instead of Ram, he is chanting Mara, Mara, Mara. But he was very constant in that. He just sat down. And he is totally unaware of food and water and hunger and thirst and heat and cold. Nothing. Nothing matters now. He is engrossed by this Ramanama. Whole anthill developed around him. Then one day some sages were passing and they heard some voice from this anthill and they found that there is a person inside. But by that time, that Valya, as he was called earlier, is now converted into Valmiki-ji. All his papas were burnt. Imagine the intensity. When he began, he didn't even know who Rama is. But he had faith in his Guru. See, this is what a Guru does. Guru comes and opens your eyes. Becomes a bridge between you and Ishvara. And Valmiki-ji then wrote Ramayana before Rama came. Before he came, he has written his lifetime, which means he became a great bhakta just by that name. Of course, his purva past karmas also were aroused. In short, what I am trying to say is this, that we have to change. What is that heart where there is no bhakti? Without bhakti, nothing, even knowledge, doesn't work. We have not changed. Our ego is the same. Our nature is the same. And we hope that Brahma Jnanam will happen. Brahma Jnanam is not riding somewhere on the road, that it just comes. Maicha ananya yogena bhakti avyabhicharini. In me, unswerving devotion. We begin, at least we begin, I am Ishvara, I am Brahman, but still I don't know this. And so, I have an Ishta Devata, or this creation, look upon creation as Ishvara and serve that Ishvara. I serve that Ishvara. That is why it is not without reason that Lord Krishna talks about Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is nothing but bhakti. But we don't have that capacity today to sit down and do bhakti. So Bhagavan says, live your life, no problem. Live as you want to live. Do whatever you are doing. Karma is there in our life. So use this karma, action. And there are two facets of karma, while doing and while receiving. So while you are doing, offer everything to me. You are performing your duties in the world with your spouse, with your siblings, with your children, with your mother-in-law, with your boss, with your country, everywhere. You are doing things. But now, how do I change the perspective, change the attitude, change the bhava? Bhavana is to be changed. Now I bring Ishvara into that. Whatever I am doing is for Ishvara. If I am cooking for Ishvara. Of course, I will offer it to my family. But I look upon family as Ishvara. Yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yat juhoshi. Bhagavan says, whatever you eat, whatever you do, tat kurushva madarpanam. Offer it to me. So what has happened? Did you understand? While doing, when I was looking at the world and I had likes and dislikes for the world, now who is replaced? Ishvara. The world is gone or is going. This is the technique. How to remove asakti? This is the way to remove the asakti. We are now not bhakta of family, but now bhakta of Ishvara in the form of the family. The vision has changed. This is what Lord Krishna is teaching. And then, when you get the results, karma phala, then also what? Remain a bhakta. While doing you were bhakta, I have to do things in life, no problem. That's why Bhagavan said, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara Vidya-Ch. Every time you do your work, but remembering me means what? How to remember Ishvara while we are working? No. That it means that whatever I am doing, first I make a sankalpa. What? That it is going to Ishvara. It is for Ishvara. So my personal likes and dislikes are neutralized. This has to be done. And then when I receive the result, I don't look at what I have got, but from where I have got. Understood? Not what I have got, but from where it is coming. Who has given me? Supposing some great person sends you something, then it may be a small thing, but who sent you? My grandfather has given me. Then I have an emotional value for that. Similarly, each situation is looked upon as prasada from Ishvara, then what is coming is not important, but from where it is coming. So even when things come before me, whom do I remember? Whom do I remember? Ishvara. So understood. While doing I am with Ishvara. While receiving also, who am I with? Ishvara. This is how he enters our life. He enters our minds. Understand this. Karma Yoga doesn't mean from morning to evening I keep on working. We have not understood all this. Ishvara doesn't come like that. We have to bring him, and bring him how? Every moment. There is a method of doing all this. And this is how he spreads my life. It is like Pada Prasarana Nyaya. You know, there is a Nyaya in Sanskrit in which, there was one beggar, not beggar, but a sadhu. He came asking for bhiksha. And then it was very hot. So he says to the lady of the house, Mata Annapurna, he says that she offered him something, some food was given. So he said, no, but it is very hot outside, so let me come in the compound and let me eat that. So she said, okay, you can come inside the compound and eat. Then he said, here there is nothing to sit, no chair, nothing. So let me come into the house and sit inside and I will eat. Lady said, well, she was very kind. Okay, you come inside. Then he says, the lunch was over. And now lady says, thank you, Maharaj. He says, no, I would like to take a nap. And then I will go. Okay, he took nap. And then afterwards he is saying, this house is mine. I am not going. This is called Pada Prasarana Nyaya. You give an elbow and the whole thing will be caught. Similarly, Ishvara is like that. Pada Prasarana. You just give him a place in our puja room. Give him little food every day. Give him shower every day. Give him things like that. And then he will ask more. He will not go. But you have to do it sincerely. Relationship is established. So, the other way is, I take refuge unto you. You are my life. You are my breath. You are my only shelter. Not the people of the world. That doesn't mean I reject them. No. Do whatever is to be done. But looking upon them as Ishvara. Bhaktas, we cannot become Bhakta like that. Mirabai said, Mere to Giridhar Gopal, Dusaro na koi. I don't know anyone else. Mere to Giridhar Gopal. Only he. Only he. None else. In the same, Bhagavan is demanding. Bhagavan is very demanding. When he sees that this bhakta has some potential, then he will not allow anybody else in your heart. You should not have place for anyone else except me. It is this kind of devotion that is required. Then knowledge is not far away. Knowledge is not far away. Today, I have the whole world in my heart. I am attracted by everything. And then, Brahma Jnana also. Not possible. Not possible. First of all, here, name and form has to go. But when it will go? I love him so much that this individuality is ready to merge. When love is there, the two cannot be. That is why when we do puja, that time also, what is our bhavana? Soham bhavena pujayet. I do this puja with which bhavana? Yes, we are non-dual, we are one, but today I don't understand that. So, O Ishvara, even though non-duality is the truth, but I don't know that, I cannot understand that. So I do this puja with a sense of duality. You are different, I am different. But please lead me to this knowledge of duality. Soham bhavena, with the bhavana of oneness. So in the beginning, I am yours. And then in the end, I am not there. Today I hold on to my individuality because I think, what will I do without that? Individuality is a notion, but it still remains. But in that love, it just merges. So you take refuge. Bhagavan says in Gita, Purushas saparav partha bhaktya labhyastu ananyaya. Purushas paraha partha, this exalted Purusha means Ishvara. Bhaktya labhyah tu ananyaya. Ananyaya bhaktya labhyah. It is known, it is gained by which kind of bhakti? Ananya bhakti. Not little bit there, little bit there, little bit there, little bit in my husband, little bit in wife, little. We have love everywhere. Everywhere. Family, friends, parents, wealth, car, this, that, so many. List is very long, no problem. But Bhagavan says, no, only me. Only me. Not easy. But when that love happens, then you get the strength also. Mirabai had no problem. Imagine her just withstanding all kinds of problems which were created in her life. With which strength? He is there. He is there. What I am trying to say is this kind of devotion. This devotion is too far. Let us begin somewhere. Let us begin somewhere. So, Bhagavan says that. Maicha ananya yogena abhyavicharini bhakti. So, this bhakti is the stepping stone. First I love him, and then I come to know the one whom I love, my Ishtadevta, is everywhere. The entire creation is nothing but him. And that truth is not different from me. So Raman Maharshi says, then the last step will be Isha Darshanam Swatma Rupatah. Then I will come to know this Ishvara as my very own self. But when will that happen? When I am ready to drop the individuality. I am no more identified with this body. It is then that happens. This was very important. Okay. Then next one is Vivikta Desha Sevitvam. Vivikta Desha Sevitvam. That is also a value that we must have love, or we must court a solitary place. We must have love for being alone in a quiet, secluded place. That is what Bhagavan is. It is a value. Vivikta Desha Sevitvam. Viviktaha means what? The place Swabhavataha Samskar, the place which is by nature or by samskaras, which is what? Very pious place. There is some sanctity about the place. Say for instance a forest or a temple or place of pilgrimage, Himalayas for instance, such places where lot of tapascharya is done, lot of sages have been there, The place is very, has different kind of vibes, as they call nowadays. When you go to such a place, see, every place has its own environment, has its own vibrations. Supposing this is a temple. When you come here, automatically you fold your hands, because this is the place you come here for that purpose. You see Ishvara, and everybody has been coming, puja is going on, Ishvara Nama is being taken. Automatically that kind of effect is there, and that impacts us. Now supposing if we go to a crematorium, then different kind of mood will be there. Why? Because the place has that kind of vibes. So Bhagavan says, Lord Krishna says that a person or a seeker should make a habit of going to a secluded place, and better if that place is pious, if that place is serene and has pious atmosphere. Such a place, will impact your mind. Like for instance, I'll tell you that here if we take, it is very difficult, supposing, to take Ishvara's name. But if we go to Himalayas, we can easily remember Ishvara. Why? Because the atmosphere is such. So Bhagavan says, make a habit. A seeker should make a habit to once in a while go to such a place and be with oneself. Make a habit. Vivikta desha sevitvam. Because today I find myself wanting. I find myself lacking because of the ignorance of the nature of the self, and therefore all the time I am running away from myself. There is a tendency to escape, and that is why we seek company and we try to escape from ourselves in different ways depending upon the culture. We try to meet friends, go to movie, it's so many things. Why? Because moment we are alone, we can't face ourselves. Somehow there is a vacuum in our life when we are alone. So when you go to a secluded place, then you have to face yourself. And better still, if you have some knowledge about the scriptures, some knowledge about the self being what it is, then all that is there in the background of the mind, then sit there and ask yourself. You have read Upanishads, you have some idea, you have done some satsanga. Now go there and fall back upon yourself. Who am I? What am I seeking in life? Scriptures say that I am full, I am complete. Atma alone is, Ishvara alone is. Then what am I running after? Why do I feel empty? Why am I all the time afraid? People are afraid, that this one will go away, that one will go away, what will I do? Why all this? Because we are not ready we are not knowing what Atma is, and we are not deriving strength from that. We have to ultimately derive strength from that. Atma is not something which is going to be born and is going to die. It is eternal. It is Nitya. What are you afraid of? Why are you afraid of? Because still you think that I am this body. So go there, sit down, think of the nature of the self. That is why Lord Krishna says, Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam. A yogi means a seeker should think about Atma. First we should know what Atma is. Go to a teacher and learn about that. Then take time off every once in a while. Sit down. Take time off and face yourself. I am full. I am complete. I am of the nature of happiness. Why? Why so many needs? Why am I seeking so much love and things like that from the world? I don't need it. Mano, buddhi, ahankara, chittani naham. I am not all this. I am Chidananda Rupaha. I am of the nature of joy. I am of the nature of happiness. Why do I feel this? Why do I find myself grieving all the time? We get bored. What is this boredom? We need some refreshment. We need to go away from amusement park and this. But why are you bored with yourself? We need change. Swamini ji, we need change. Fine. But behind that, we have denied ourselves. Every time we need this love, this happiness, then we are denying ourselves. So, once in a while, go somewhere. And not with company, not the whole family and friends and my pets and my everything. Then again you will be busy there. Looking after them, providing for them. Have you eaten? What about your food? That's what you are doing here. You better keep away from all that. Go alone. But alone I am afraid. Then learn to spend that time here. Every day, take time off for some time. Be alone in your room and sit alone. Form that habit. Sitting alone for some time is not that easy. I don't want any cell phone, keep in the other room. No food, nothing. I'll be alone. And don't go to sleep then. Then in the name of meditation, then we go to sleep. No. Remind yourself, I am full, I am complete, I am Atma. And Atma is of the nature of happiness. What am I afraid of? What am I seeking from others? I am beyond birth, death. Death is of the body. Birth is of the body. I am not that. Tell yourself again and again. Habit is to be formed. This won't come suddenly. That is why Lord Krishna even tells to yogis, Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitaha. Remain alone and constantly do this. Brahma Jnanam doesn't happen like that. There are no miracles, no shortcuts, no shortcuts. Not 1 month course will not work. Work of lifetime, lifetime. So, Vivikta Desha Sevitvam. Then what? Next line. Aratihi Jana Samsadi. Aratihi Jana Samsadi. Which means what? Arati means aramanam. Aramanam means I don't like. What? Company of people. That doesn't mean that I hate people. See, we have to understand. Aratihi Jana Samsadi. Which means we have the tendency to all the time court people's company. We are all the time after people. Friends and everyone, all the time I have to be in their company. Plan my weekends and go there and go this, all the time. Which means I am escaping. Which means I am getting bored with myself. I am lonely. Hare, Atma is only one thing. Where is the question of loneliness? But people are afraid, and we are not criticizing. All this shows that we have not understood. So we sit back and understand. So Bhagavan is saying, giving this as a value, aratihi jana samsati, all the time and particularly For a seeker, this is being told. Don't all the time court company of those people who will disturb or make you more extrovert. They keep on, that's fine with them. But if you will be in their company, person is what company he keeps. So, if I will be all the while in their company, it is quite possible that I will become like them. My values are now different. My goal is now different. Okay, if like-minded people are there, then you can be with them. But there also, I should not all the time need their help. So again, I don't hate people. I'm not running away from them. But still, I must learn to be alone and spend time with myself. This requires a lot of strength. It requires inner strength. Mundakopanishad says, Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyah. Atma cannot be gained by one who is weak. Weak means what? Just 50 pounds means weak? Not that kind of weakness. One requires inner strength. Strength coming from this knowledge. Strength coming from contemplation. Strength coming from satsanga. Strength coming from devotion for Ishvara. That strength we need. I am not alone. Ishvara is there with me. So, aratihi jana samsadi. Then what? Lastly, it says, we'll read that verse quickly. Adhyatma, verse number 11. Adhyatma jnana nityatvam. Tattva jnanartha darshanam. Etat jnanamiti proktam. Ajnanam yadatonyatha. So lastly, Lord Krishna says, Adhyatma jnana nityatvam. That is also a value. Adhyatma jnana nityatvam. Nityatvam means constancy. Consistency. Constancy in what? Adhyatma jnana. This pursuit of knowing the self must not be given up. I take it once in a while and then give up. No. I follow it constantly. Adhyatma jnana. Adhyatma jnana means knowledge of the very self. Knowledge of the I, the core I. I must know. See, today I may have lot of knowledge about the world. What is where, what is in Mars and what is in Jupiter and so many things. But the irony is, I do not know myself. Who am I? The fundamental problem is here. That is why Swamiji says, problem is you, solution is you. Which self becomes problem? Self about whom I don't know. That is, so it means when I am ignorant of the nature of the self as to who I am, when I don't know, I am only become a problem to myself and to others. But when I know, that is the solution. So, the solution or the panacea to all our problems lies where? Lies in knowing who I am. I take myself to be this body, this mind, this pranas, this sense. I am not that. This is just an instrument. This is just an apparel I am not that. How can I escape knowing this? This life has been given for that. The precise purpose of this life is only that. And the more I evade this, the more unhappiness is there in my life. So, the goal is Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. I must constantly pursue this. I must pursue this. Go to some people who know about it and learn from them. It's not going to happen that suddenly I will come to know as to who I am. Atma doesn't speak. If it was speaking, this problem would not have been there. Whenever I told myself that I am woman, I am man, I am nothing, I am a fool, and if Atma would have said, hey, you are wrong, my dear. You are not a fool, you are Satchidananda Atma, then it would have been best. But it doesn't speak. On the contrary, gives sanction. If I say I am woman, doesn't protest. Doesn't protest. Atma is available for all kinds of notions. So, as Swamiji says, you can't stumble upon Atma. One fine day you just stumble. No, you can't stumble upon Atma. So, you have to go somewhere to someone who knows about it. Tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva abhigachet. To know about this self, go to a guru. But who is guru? How do I know who is guru? Guru I don't know. There is no person called guru. But see, Ishvara's blessings, if Ishvara is blessing us with our bhakti, if we have given him place in our life, a guru will come. A teacher will come. Some light will come in your life. You need not go in search of him. He will appear. In some way, you have to know the self. You can't say bye-bye to this life without knowing the self. It would be foolish. Because if you know it now, iha ched avedit ata satyam asti. Kenopanishad says this in unambiguous words. What? Iha ched avedit. If you know it now, here and now, in this life, if you know it now, then you have known it. Then you have made your life. Your life is made. Ata satyam asti. And if you do not know it, then mahati vinashtihi, it will be a very, very great loss. We are good businessmen otherwise. We know what is profit, what is loss, all that we know. But when it comes to life, we make this major mistake. All business acumen goes away. And another life. What is the big problem? What is the big problem? We'll have another life. Who knows? Have you gone and seen? What is the guarantee that you are coming back? What is the guarantee? Have we seen? It is all Avyakta. See, from Avyakta we have come. We don't know from where we came. Astrologers may tell us, but we can't go by that. And where we will go, that also we do not know. From darkness we have come, and again we will go somewhere. What we have before us is this life, this time, and everything is possible here. Encash this life and every moment of it. Live intelligently, live wisely. You have this time before you. Don't squander it. Don't squander it in flimsy things. Understand it very well. Use it wisely. And regarding time also, what guarantee do we have? Can we be sure that I have enough time? Can anybody say, this much I have? Who knows? Bhagavan has not given us any surety about anything. Nothing, no surety. It is here. We may be planning, for what we will do after 5 years, and after that he laughs. He is laughing. This fellow is planning. I know better. He knows. Big joke for him. We plan for 20 years, insurance, this, that, etc. He says, you may do. You may do. Beta, you do. I will come any moment. So I'm not saying all this to frustrate, but it is a fact of life. So Bhagavan says, Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. Once you have taken up this, first set your goal and go ahead with it wisely, intelligently, with all the planning. With all the planning, just go ahead. And last one is Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. Last value. Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. Deliberate upon, reflect upon the result of the knowledge of the self. Reflect upon what this knowledge is going to give you. We are always, we do something only when we get something. So, to give you that enthusiasm, reflect upon what this knowledge is. Why should I do? Why should I do? Then tell yourself what this knowledge is going to do for you. What is it going to do? Moksha. But what is moksha? We must be clear about what moksha is. I will be free from this sense of limitation once and for all. Arjuna said, he was so tired with everything. And he said, I know the limitations of everything now. I don't want anything that is limited. Then what do you want? He said, Yas Shreyasyat Nishchitam. Yat Nishchitam Shreyah Tanme Bruhi. Arjuna says, O Lord, O Achyuta, please tell me that which is definite in life. That which will give me definite happiness. Talk about that. I don't want anything else. See, Arjuna was very clear. This prospect of the impending war made Arjuna think in this way. And today he wants what? Tell me that which is the ultimate solution for all the grief, all the sense of limitation which a human being is constantly facing, no matter what he gains, with all the wealth, with all the comforts, with all the positions, with all the status, with all the family. But that sense of want, that sense of lack is always there. It is never going. Yes, once in a while it gets clouded. When I get something, when I achieve something. But how long does it remain? Temporarily. And again I am back to square. Now what? Now what? Everybody had come, now they have gone. What to do? I got what I wanted, but now what? What next? What next? What next? This goes on. So, we must think that what is it that I am going to get out of this knowledge? If we know clearly that knowing the self, knowing the reality means I will be fulfilled totally, once and for all. There will be total contentment in my life. Then I will be after it. Understand what I am saying? That is why Brahmavid apnoti param, knower of the self, gains what? Param means limitlessness. If understand this sentence, Taittiriya says Brahmavid apnoti param, knowledge of knower of Brahman, which means knower of the reality, gains limitlessness, which means knowledge is equivalent to what? Knowledge is equivalent to limitlessness. Knowledge means contentment. You don't have to gain, you don't have to go, you don't have to reach, you don't have to transform. What have you got to do? Just know. Just know what is. Just know what is. Atma is, I don't know it today. Ishvara is, I don't know it today. Just know it well. And where is it? Right here. All the time it is there here. I just don't know it. And knowing it, Jnana devatu kaivalyam. Once I know this clearly, there is no other choice in life. There is no other choice. My pursuit becomes choiceless, provided we think. That is why Lord Krishna, Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. And with that, all the values are over. And then what did he call them? Etad Jnanam. Etad Jnanam. This is knowledge. Knowledge means what? Means for knowledge. This is not knowledge. Means for knowledge. If you have these values, you have a mind which is ready. And then in that ready mind, you will gain knowledge. So, very beautifully, Lord Krishna listed these 20 values which are indispensable if one wants to gain knowledge. And let me tell you, once you have these values, your mind is peaceful. You are at peace with you, and these values are very, very close to Atma, very close to reality. So, we don't have much time, so we have to conclude, but we have tried to give an explanation for all these values. Okay? Thank you. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. 1 second. हाँ, 1 minute. हाँ, 1 second. 1 second. Let me first, I am very, very thankful to the organizers of Sanatan Mandir and all the volunteers, and of course all of you, for giving me a chance to talk with you all. And we have had good satsanga, And I'm particularly thankful for Sanatan Mandir that they gave me this opportunity. So it was nice talking to you all this 5 days. And today I think you are already given a piece of paper where you can give your cell numbers, because henceforth whenever we will be having our programs, we can enter you in our groups if you wish, so that you can get link for our talks. Okay, thank you. Now will you be singing that? While you can take prasada from me.
प्रभु के प्यारे भक्तों,
हाँ जी,
सबसे पहले तो पूज्य श्री का जितना हम आभार व्यक्त करें इतना कम है। आपने सचमुच में भव्य प्रवचन किया है और आत्मा के बारे में कहा है, इसकी कोई सीमा नहीं है। लेकिन उनके हाथ से हम प्रसाद लेंगे। प्रसाद का काफ़ी लोगों ने अलग अलग अर्थ किया है। प्र माने प्रभु, सा माने साक्षात, द मीन्स दर्शन।